Hey guys, Lana Hill here from One Small Step Business Coaching, and welcome to the video blog for this fortnight. Today I'm going to talk more about sales. I'm going to save my second part of my previous video about my personal sales story because I've got a really exciting workshop coming up. And I just want to give you guys a little snapshot as to some of the things I'll be covering in that workshop. So as you would know if you've been watching these videos, I've got a lot of experience in sales. I come from a corporate sales background, so I started at the bottom and worked my way up the corporate ladder into strategic and national sales roles. Basically I started off as somebody that didn't really think of myself as a salesperson. But then as I went along, realised, I actually am a salesperson at heart, and I want to share with you guys a little bit more as to why that is, as well as some of the basic sales principles I'll be covering in the workshop this Thursday night, but I'll do the plug. I'll do the plug at the end of the video. So one of the really key reasons why I realised over my sales journey that I was actually kind of born to be in sales is because it's all about people, and it's all about really understanding, it's about understanding people and what makes them tick, what they want, what's important to them. So when people hear the word sales, they often think it's about talking, it's about being salesy. It's really not. Sales is, I would say, about 60 or 70% listening and about 30 or 40% talking. And that 30 or 40% talking, you have to be really on point. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But so much of your job as a salesperson is really understanding your customer, making them feel trusted and listened to, and just really finding out what's important in their world. So much of sales is also about emotional intelligence. It's about empathy. It's about really kind of getting your head into your customers' pain points and also where they're trying to get to. What are their goals? What are they trying to achieve? And how can you help them do that? So that, once I kind of wrap my head around that, and I would say that's probably, if not the most important part of the sales piece, it's certainly in the top three. Once I wrapped my head around that, I thought, I love this because I do really love helping other people. And that is kind of how I view sales. It's about helping my customers. But the other thing I want to ask you guys, and this is one of the bugbears I guess I have when I hear people say, oh, I'm not really into sales, or I don't like to be salesy. And so the first thing I'm kind of just going to throw back at you this morning is you can't afford not to be. If you're in business to build a brand, to make a difference, to make money, to look after your family, whatever your reason is for being in business, you have to be in sales, and you have to take responsibility for that, because let's face it, nobody else is going to. And yes, opportunities can come your way, but if you really take ownership for the sales piece, I guarantee you create your own opportunities, and you can really create so much momentum by, really understanding how this sales thing works. So that's, definitely one of the things we're going to speak about at the workshop next week. But so number one, ask yourself why you're in sales, and use that reason or number of reasons. Most people have more than one reason. Use that reason as your fuel. A lot of people feel guilty, and particularly women feel guilty about selling themselves and their business. And you shouldn't, because again, hark back to the reason why you're in business in the first place. And not only the reason why you're in business, but what sits at the heart of your brand. Because so many small business owners I know are in business, they might be in business for themselves, for their families, whatever it is, to make a little bit of extra cash, to give money back into the community if they're a not-for-profit or a social enterprise. They're trying to make a difference, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's absolutely a noble and inspiring cause. So, you know, that is the reason why you need to communicate to your customers, to your potential customers, to your community. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is why I love it. And this is how I can help you. And that's what it's about. So be okay with it. Tracy Harris from Mums with Hustle is a very good friend of One Small Step Business Coaching, and one of her very clever kind of sayings is sell, not serve. And I love that, because yes, it is about serving others, and you really it can help to think about it that way, but it's also about serving yourself. And that's also kind of a mindset shift that I think a lot of women kind of need to make before they get okay with this whole selling thing. But like I've just said, you know, if you don't communicate what's so great about your business, what's great about your brand, you know, and not just what's great about it, what's different about it, because that's what people want to know. What sits at the heart of your business and of your brand, and you know, what is different about it. And if people can connect to that, if they can emotionally connect to kind of your mission and your vision and your values, and that's one of the reasons why I put that at number 1 on my top 6 business planning basics. If your customers can connect to that, then, you know, it's just incredibly beneficial and powerful, and, you know, all those things. Creating long-term relationships, as I always say, is the holy grail of business. But one of the other things I wanted to quickly touch on today was another reason why it's important to be able to sell. And people think of selling as a, you know, selling to potential customers. But here's the truth bomb I'm going to drop today. It is just as important to sell to your current customers or clients as it is to go out there and find new business. So there's kind of like, if I think about it in my own kind of corporate sales speak, account management and business development. So, or client management. So client management is your existing clients or your existing customers. Managing, nurturing, you know, all the customer service stuff, that's your current client base. And you know what, like the customers that are buying off you, they're just as important, if not more important, than the customers that aren't buying off you yet. So don't ever think that sales is just about going out there and getting the new stuff. Sales is about building relationships, nurturing relationships, learning from your customers. It's about all that one-on-one stuff. So don't think it's just about pushy and can I get the sale, la la la. Think about it as nurturing your existing client base. So important. And something I come across a lot with my clients is that, you know, you've really got to remind your customers sometimes of the value that you bring to the table, because if you just let them kind of buy the product or service from you and you're not kind of reminding them of the value they get, why they bought from you, you know, it's just going to be a transactional relationship. But if you really keep connecting to your current customers, if you remind them of the value that they got from you and that they're still getting from you, because hopefully you don't just ignore them once they bought from you, you know, that generates that incredible word of mouth that, you know, will obviously help you when it comes to attracting new customers. So, you know, make sure you're always educating them, because particularly if you're in a service-based business, it can be, you know, really intangible what you're kind of selling as such. So really kind of, you know, whether it's the process of how you do what you do, whether it's the emotional benefit of how you do what you do, all of those things are really important to remind, you know, to remind your community. So current potential customers and, you know, just other people out there in the marketplace. The last thing I want to say to you is one of the best kind of pieces of advice I ever got when I think I was about 19 and I just started in my first ever sales job. And one of my kind of superiors, it wasn't my boss, but a guy that was higher up in the business than me in Melbourne, really great guy and not a typical sales guy, but he said to me, one of the best kind of techniques you can use in sales is just presenting yourself in the best way at every opportunity possible. So that's not about selling at every possible opportunity, but you know, at the end of the day, sales is about people. It's about being, you know, building relationships, basically kind of making people like you, which sounds really crazy, but if you're likable, if you're relatable, if you know, show people that you understand, you know, what's going on in their world, if you know how to make people feel important, they're going to want to buy off you. So if you just take every opportunity when you're out there, you might be at a networking event, you might be, you know, whatever it is, just present yourself in the best possible way, because you are part of your brand. And even if you're not in a kind of selling mode, if you're not talking about your business, you might be talking about the wider business community, business issues, whatever it is, you're still a walking, talking ambassador for your brand. So I just wanted to leave that one with you guys, because it's still one of the best pieces of advice I ever had. And I know myself, even when I was working for a big corporate organisation, I always kept that at the back of my head, because I thought, well, at the end of the day, yes, I'm representing this organisation that I work for, but I'm actually just representing myself. And my name, my integrity, my reputation is something that will follow me around for the rest of my life. I may not be working for this company forever, and I certainly wasn't. So keep that in the back of your head as well, because you just never know who is connected to who or what opportunity you're going to get, because someone looks at you and thinks, wow, you know, they're really good at what they do, and I want to find a way to work with them. So that's it from me today. Bit of a rant. I feel like I'm a bit amped up today. But yeah, so the workshop that I'm doing this Thursday, May the 11th, in Perth, is at the Workshop Place in Clarkson, which is a really cool collaboration with Bubdesk. And yeah, it's only 6 to 8 p.m. Tickets are $79. All the info's on the website, and I would absolutely love to see you there. Okay, see you guys. Bye.